Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. We have a match in this grand finals. Two bordering countries at war with each other. United States from the winner's side against Canada. It is once again a rematch from last year iteration. I am BlankTap and joined by me is Dio and Hubba. We're going to be your caster for today. How are you guys doing?
Doing great this fine evening here in North America. The United States versus Canada, as you said, BlankTap, a rematch from last year in the grand finals. Last year's matchup went to tiebreaker, and Canada unfortunately outclassed on a very high star rating, very high difficulty tiebreaker by a United States roster that looked to simply outscale every other roster in the tournament. And honestly, it looks very similar this year. The United States seed one out of qualifiers have looked pretty untouchable throughout the tournament, have not had all that close of a match all throughout the tournament, whereas Canada having to scrap their way through the losers bracket after being beaten by China in round of 16 as seed number 3. Of course, China eventually ending up in top 3 does give some legitimacy to that loss, but Canada definitely a tougher road here to the grand finals than the United States.
Yeah, as we have our rolls in here, Batball winning the roll for first ban being picked. And speaking to that United States-China, Canada, a little bit of a chip on their shoulder here, beating the ones who beat them previously, beating China yesterday on a 7-1 effort, just showing that as these skill caps get higher, they are becoming stronger.
Yeah, and they definitely have a solid roster for it as well, right? You look at the Canadian roster, of course, players like Yip, Cut Paper, Boom, Megawin, also known as Jamara, for a little bit of that consistency. But Birchman and Zucchini, I think some interesting additions to the roster that have done very, very well for the Canadian side. And, of course, the United States with a very, very strong roster of their own here in the grand finals.
Yeah, Pez being the standout player in these past couple of rounds, being a real heavy carry in these higher skill caps maps, the Hard Rock 2s, the Nomad 4s, being a big swing for a lot of these picks on the United States side.
Yeah, I think it's been Pez in particular who has really shown for the United States during these later rounds in the winners finals. He was putting up 1v2 scores pretty frequently during the matchup there versus China in the winners bracket, and really looked pretty untouchable by the rest of the roster. But the same could be said for some of the scores coming out of Canada yesterday, especially Yip looking extremely strong on maps like that Nomad 3, which as of right now is still left open. Canada, of course, banning out 2 of those speed mechanics maps. Sort of the specialty picks there for players like Pez and Toki, who have been very strong again in the finals and later stages of the tournament for the United States. Canada, of course, a very, very strong reading team, a very strong gimmick team. I don't believe they got to play that Hidden 2 yesterday, but on maps like that Nomad 3 yesterday looking unbeatable, really. 620k from Yip and 430k or something like that for Zucchini, one of the new additions, a former 5-digit World Cup player for Canada. Just incredibly good scores there for them. So I think you're going to see a very strict dichotomy of picks in this matchup. The United States picking a lot into the mechanics maps, Canada picking a lot into more of the aim control, finger control, reading sorts of picks. And it is a double hidden ban for the United States. I think that's a pretty solid plan here for them. Yeah, you have players like Batball and Gaby who are extremely strong on those hiddens, but a lot of the rest of the roster really doesn't prefer that mod, whereas for Canada, a lot of their players are hidden comfort players. So banning out a double hidden for Canada here, or for the United States here, I think makes a lot of sense, as USA on stuff like the free mods, for example, where you can have just Gaby or just Batball take that hidden, can be extremely, extremely good for this roster, especially with the hard rock preference for a lot of the rest of the players on the team. And with the free mod rules for 4-digit World Cup, 3 players having to take a mod, I think it makes a lot of sense for the United States there.
Yeah, and that Hidden 2 was Canada's first pick in the last match, going to be taking that one pretty decidedly. It's a solid first ban on the United States side. In Canada, a pretty strong 3-mod 2 team in their own right, not having to worry about banning the 3-mod 2 due to the easy players on the China side this time around, leaving it open. And that first pick going to be coming in the No Mod 5 for the United States. We saw the double speed ban from Canada. DT2 and DT3 are going to be gone. And the 270 PPM pick is first for United States.
Again, no surprises, right? DT2, DT3 ban here for Canada are the bans, and of course United States is going straight for some speed right off the bat. This is a bit of an interesting song. AR10, OD 9.5, 270 BPM, and cresting 8 stars for this No Mod 5. Not a lot of very solid scores from either team. I believe we did see this get played between Canada and China previously in the losers bracket finals, and I don't believe either team had a lot of really solid scores. Of course, neither of those teams as good of a mechanics team as the United States, so I think with players like, of course, Pez and Toki on the side of the United States, you're expecting a lot better scores for them here. I think maybe you'll see players like RNG or Opixe or Ricole in for the United States as well. Maybe Batball comes in to mash his way through the pick. Definitely not a speed player himself, but can play these sort of things. On the side of Canada, though, Jimmy, Zucchini, definitely going to be in for this one on their side, alongside maybe Tan Dark Karate, although you might just put in some of the other all-rounders like Cut Paper or like Birchman for this sort of map. We'll have to see who's comfortable for the Canadian roster.
Yeah, the top scorers yesterday being Jamara, Boom Mega Win, and Birchman, both on 380k runs and single-digit miscounts. It's up to the United States to overcome that, though.
Does look like we see Batball in for the United States alongside Ricole, Birchman, and Tan in for Canada. And rosters should be locked with that. I think both of these rosters make sense for both teams, but definitely a pick that heavily favors the United States out of the gate. The DT2, DT3 bans for Canada, as well as, I believe, the scores we saw yesterday. Unfortunately, I don't have that MP link up in front of me, but I believe we saw this played yesterday in the losers finals, and couple of rough scores for Canada, so looking to turn it around here, but for the United States, looking to start strong from the winner's side. It's grand finals, time for the first map.
Yeah, absolutely. Starting off with a bang, it's a No Mod 5 angle for the United States. 8-star rating. Oh my goodness, we are absolutely going to see some explosion happening in the playfield as Jimara finds the first chain miss.
Yeah, and these early accolades off of the back of these misses off of Toki and Ricole. Actually, big trades early. Canada misses of their own, going to be giving the United States a 50k early lead here.
Yeah, and it's all thanks to Pez right now, holding his full combo on the board. It's a 1v0, and United States looking good in this beautiful start.
Yeah,
the first intersection.
And we're seeing a little bit of a rougher start for the Canada side. Maybe feeling a bit less confident against this higher skill cap team. But first pick for the United States makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. The most convincing pick of them all. It's always the first pick. And right now, my god, Pez definitely a businessman. 800 combo, ready to do some business, and increasing the lead to 100k as Canada finds the triple miss from Tan, Boom Mega Win, and Zucchini. Only Birchman holding, but it's just one man against 3.
Yeah, and we were just talking about earlier when we were speaking of these rosters, the big skill cap player Pez coming in again, 8-star map, highest one in this pool, and shredding it as hard as he can, but Birchman on the other side with a 1k combo of his own incoming. Not to be reckoned with here. No other combos on his team though. It's going to be a rough journey for him.
Absolutely, by the way, you see full comboing this with 98%? It's an 8-star! There's no way!
Wait, was that NFC?
What a beginning!
Too fast. Oh my god, that's an FC.
That's a statement right there! They're not
Sure,
playing
man.
around, Hubba.
Let's just FC the 8-star, why don't you? That's fun.
Oh my
And
god.
look at the rest of the scores in the lobby, right? Birchman, one of the 5-digit World Cup for Canada players here in 4WC with the 566K for their roster. That is the highest score in the lobby outside of that FC from Pez. And everyone else is at 300K or below. Outside of those two players, it's pretty much an entirely even playing field. But the skill cap on really just Pez on this map is insane for the United States and a determining factor in the victory for them, because without that FC, if he gets, a similar score as everyone else in the lobby, 300K or so, they lose that pick to Canada. So clutch FC and clutch high score for Pez. Didn't exactly need a full combo there. I think 500-600K would have been enough, but very, very solid run for him. And now right into the first pick for Canada. They know what they want to go for. It's Let's Quartz, the Lucidity difficulty 4WC edit. This was originally mapped for SSOT in the grand finals there as a hidden pick. SSOT, if you don't know the format, it changed depending on the slot number. So this was hidden 1, which meant that in a team size 8 tournament, the map was played 1 versus 1. The original difficulty is AR8 and way harder than this difficulty, which is AR 8.5, a lot more forgiving on a lot of the patterns, and of course no mod for this map. But that doesn't change the fact that NIWASHI songs, polyrhythm songs on low approach rate are extremely difficult, extremely gimmicky. Canada did play this yesterday versus China. Yip with 400K was the top score in the lobby. We also saw Zucchini, Cut Paper, and Birchman in for that. Not going to be surprised to see any of them come back in.
Yeah, and United States, his history shows, has been a very strong rhythm team. I'm not surprised that they decided to leave this one open in comparison with that hidden 2, which is more aimy, more kind of like reading focus. This one could be more a focus on the rhythm.
Of course, the roster for United States not to be downplayed on this sort of a map. Pez, of course, back in, the all-rounder for the United States and one of the best players, if not the best player on the roster here in Grand Finals. Twilight, Batball, and Gaby, all extremely good gimmick players. Batball and Twilight in particular, very well known for that low approach rate and gimmick sort of style of gameplay. Gaby in particular known for being a very, very strong hidden player, but a lot of that transfers over, especially that hidden low approach rate, transfers over to maps like this in no mod in tournaments. So still a very scary roster here for Canada to go up against on their first pick, but looking good on the pick yesterday with a solid roster and extra practice from the previous match. We'll see how well they can do on their first pick here, looking to tie it up and keep this grand finals close. Remember, Canada has to win twice in order to win the tournament and beat the curse from last year. United States, they only need one best of 13 win to close it out and finish off the two-peat.
Yeah, but will this be the correct start for them, though, Canada? They have something to prove. And right now, Batball with the first miss. Not too much just yet. Things about to get real crazy as Cut Paper and Zucchini finds their own mistakes. And there's the trade. It's 1v1 between Gaby and Birchman. And Gaby is down.
Yeah, down they go. Birchman, the only one holding. Still a little bit of a score advantage, but that's going to be sliding over to Canada shortly, with Birchman holding on to this FC. A little bit of an act hiccup, but that's no problem, so long as he holds this combo.
It's the wiggle Cut Paper as well. No misses in the playfield, but Pez finding the accuracy drop and Gaby finding his own miss. He has the accuracy but not the combo right now. And on the other side of Canada, they're still holding very nicely as Zucchini finds the miss, trading out against Gaby. It's a 2v3 situation and Canada still looking very solid.
Yeah, but still this big combo from Birch not going down. That's the big hold for Canada right now as they've gone up to 50k. Not to be beaten out by Batball and Twilight's recoveries here if anyone else goes down, and there's the big one from Birchman. Cut Paper and Yip have to hold now.
Absolutely, and against the likes of Batball and Twilight, this is going to be a tough match. Any mistakes might be fatal. Gaby finds a rather unusual misread and misaim on that one circle. But Batball is down, so does Yip. it's a 1v1. A gentleman's duel between Twilight and Cut Paper. And once again, the paper cuts indeed. It's the last one remaining against Pez.
Yeah, extremely solid team score on the side of Canada here. Very close between the three players, Cut Paper, Birchman, and Yip, proving their worth on these reading picks.
Still 1-6 verse. No mistakes except from Yip finding a slider break. Pez is still there looking for a weakness, and Cut Paper has shown his cracks. 80k difference. Gaby with a 300 combo, Twilight with a 200 combo, Zucchini is down, Canada is falling apart, but there's the trade, past the last one remaining. Will the boss man once again boss around? Is he ready to work once again in the office? 70k difference, is there even enough time? Has he arrived too late? Only a fraction of the map remains.
Yeah, the score lead is heading up to the United States side, 40k and counting. Pez and Batball with the big combos, and the only combos, Canada is not matching it right now, but these misses from Pez and Gaby, they keep on slowing it down, and the Pez break might seal the deal there. Yip and Zucchini with some recoveries to hold against Batball's big 600 at the end. That break from Pez, if he held on, it might have spelled doom for the first pick on Canada's side, but for now they hold.
Absolutely, and it's 1-1 situation, boys.
Tied up after the first pick for Canada here, and really I think it's a story of the team consistency. 412k, the highest score in the lobby for Canada off of Cut Paper. Paper cuts are indeed a little painful, but the added pain from Birchman, Yip, and Zucchini all above that 300k mark. Birchman close to that 400k as well. Just too much to deal with for the lower scores on the United States. Twilight and Gaby down below that 300k mark, and just Batball, highest score in the lobby, top score overall with 484k. Not enough to carry the United States to that victory. Couldn't pull off quite the same carry performance as Pez on that Nomad 5, even though it was top score overall in the lobby. So Canada, with an overall better reading team, an overall better gimmick team, do find the win on that Nomad 6 first pick. And as we said, tied up 1-1 after the first picks, and very likely to see another one of these mechanics picks grabbed here by the United States. DT1, DT4, probably the likely suspects, and there's DT1.
Yeah, we're going into this higher BPM snap aim. A little bit of finger control in here, but not the main focus. It's really going to be on this higher BPM mechanics aim for the United States. Very strong on this. Canada, historically not really playing these DT1s. They did come close to taking it in the South Korea match, but South Korea just barely edged it out.
One thing to note with this map is this is a little different from most other DT1s. It is 315 BPM, and that's not, 1/3 or 1/6 or anything. That is just straight up 315 BPM jumps. So almost plays like an alt map with very, very snappy patterning. You can kind of think of it as about 160, a little less than 160 BPM alt jumps in this map. So the overall snapping requirements in this are really, really high. It's almost more of a focus on aim control than it is on the higher spacing aim that you tend to see in 240, 260 BPM DT1s that are typical for the slot. So maybe that helps Canada a little bit here, again, with a team that's a little better overall on that aim control as opposed to just the pure aim mechanics. But of course, AR 10.3 DT aim and speed map is definitely something that's good for the United States. We'll have to see how this one plays out exactly, because it's a very different sort of DT1 than we are used to seeing in tournaments in general, not just in 4-Digit World Cup, but across most tournaments. You don't really go above 300 BPM, even for extremely high speed picks. So to see something like this in DT1 is unique, to say the least. Pez, Nicole, RNG, and Twilight for the United States. Dark Karate, Jamara, that is Boom, Mega Win, Zucchini, and Birchman, Cut Paper, Tan. I don't know who the last one is.
But you're already seeing the different rosters for the type of DT1 this is. RNG, it's like usually not being in for these DT1s. Dark Karate, not being tap gapped by this one, so he's able to play this NieR pick.
And it's actually Nanawo in for Canada. Nanawo doesn't play a lot of maps for this team. He is in for very specific picks, usually the hard rock and precision picks, generally speaking, but can play these higher approach rate picks. And with the whole DT pool being AR 10 plus, there's definitely a good chance we see him on either this map or the DT4. And here he is to play the first map of the match for himself on Team Canada here. United States with their second pick on a super high BPM DT1.
Indeed, and Nanawo is making his debut to try to counter this high mechanical demanding map. I have no idea to say it, but what I know is that Zucchini and Nanawo still holding the full combo against Pass. It's a 1v2 right off the bat.
Yeah, the big trades early on here. No team with the real advantage that Zucchini break at the end is going to be giving a slight one off the back of this Pez, still holding onto the SS, as he does, apparently.
Yeah, absolutely, and with the support from RNG and Twilight Light, they will increase the lead now to 100k into the first K section, and this is the classic file 0108 map as United States hold 3 combo throughout the first KI.
Yeah, that's 3 combo to 1 here. Zucchini the only one holding with a little bit. Pez still SSing. 260k here lead for the United States. And we're already past the halfway point. This map not going to be very long, only about 2 minutes. And for all intents and purposes, that break from Zucchini might just be done here.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 big combos from the side of US, and Pez playing like his rent is due. I mean, he got the bills to pay and he's ready to do some junk. Whether it be dirty or clean, finally finding a slider break, but not before reaching 800k. And there it is, the cavalry is here, RNG ready to steal the spotlight, but come on. That is 100 and 150 from Pez, hubba.
Oh,
You've got to be
Gamis
kidding me.
coming in right at the end, the one burst of the map, but yeah, Pez
Oh
once
my
again showing
God.
his worth. RNG matching it with the 890k of his own. But wow, what a team score. 3 million on a grand finals DT1 here.
And that is the power of a solid mechanics roster when it comes to these really high star rating picks. The United States with Pez, RNG, and Twilight actually dropping the 730k there. RNG top scoring the lobby with nearly 900k. Of course, Pez doing very well once again with 99 accuracy on that map, which is absolutely insane. There's only one other ack in the lobby above 98, and that's on Recoal. Did drop 484k, so not the best score, but very good accuracy there across the United States roster. Everybody else, 97 ack or below, really puts into perspective just how good that 99 is. Very, very difficult to keep that level of accuracy. Even though this map is only OD7 base, when it is that fast, you just have so little time to react and fix your finger control if there are issues with it. So really commendable accuracy there from Pez, and of course great scores from both him as well as RNG and Twilight on that map. And now Canada once again probably going into one of these more gimmicky picks. I would have to think the Nomad 3 or the Hidden 3. Just looking through the scores from yesterday, the Nomad 4, yes, it's an extremely hard map and it is 5 minutes, but the overall scores were very low. And with how good the scores were for Canada on that Nomad 3 with Yip 600k and Zucchini 400k, have to imagine that that's in the cards at least for Canada in some of these earlier picks. And there it is, Nomad 3 picked by Yip. 620k for him yesterday, 430k for Zucchini yesterday. And I have to imagine that we maybe see some roster swaps on the bottom two. We did see Dark Karate and Jamara play this yesterday, though the best score between them was 309,000. Yes, that's better than what anyone on Team China was able to do, but I think you want the best possible team score on this sort of a map, and there are some other very, very good alt players on the side of Canada, like Cut Paper, who could maybe come in for a map like this and score very highly. We'll have to see if they do make those roster adjustments or if it is the same 4-man roster from yesterday for Canada. Regardless, a good pick for them to be sure. And then on the side of the United States, probably seeing Pez and Batball at the very least. Well, maybe Batball. I'm not sure generally the flow aim for Batball, much more of a gimmick player. Honestly, I think a lot of players on the United States could go in for this. Batball, Pez, Twilight, Ricole could go in for this. Gaby could go in for this. Pixie or RNG could go in for this. I think really you're just looking at Toki to probably stay out during this map, but I think a lot of the rest of the roster could do very well on this map for the United States. So a lot of players to choose from for them. Just depends who's most comfortable on this sort of thing.
Yeah, and here's our big roster. There is the change. Dark Karate going to be swapping for Cut Paper. Gamara going to be staying in. Maybe a bit of an underperformance from him yesterday, but Karate's out. Cut Paper's in. Yip Zucchini, the big performer, is going to be staying.
And not too much else to say for this one. Of course, Canada picking into this No Mod 3, I think, is very expected with just how good their scores were yesterday. Let's see if they can replicate them yesterday on what is honestly just a clip farm map. This is demonic in terms of the aim control patterning in this. Let's see just how well these teams can do on what, even among the rest of this ridiculous pool, is still one of the hardest maps in the entire pool.
I'm a vinyl junkie.
Absolutely, but Canada starting off with 2 misses of their own players. I played this map before. It was on a random multi-lobby 2019, and seeing this played in a World Cup is such a surreal experience as we find the trade for United States. It's a 2v1.5 situation, and Cut Paper is down. Only RNG remains against Yip.
Yeah, RNG with the big combo gonna be Zucchini and Yip, the 2 big performers once again showing up with some combos of their own. Not FCs, mind you, but it is a start. But that break from Yip going to be slowing things down. 100k and growing lead for the United States off the back of this RNG score.
Absolutely, and here comes the climax. RNG! Oh my goodness, almost hitting that. But Opixay got his back. 200k in the lead. United States ready to find a chance of getting a breakpoint against Canada in this number 3.
And here you see how hard it is to be consistent on a map like this, a map this difficult with the aim control. Cut Paper and Zucchini with a little bit of recovery, matched only by Pez, but that's a 200k score lead and like 20 seconds of map remaining. And the hardest part in the ending here, it's up to Cut Paper and Yip to hold now, and Pez is not letting up.
Absolutely, and the paper will fall. Pass choosing scissors with 500 combo, finally dropping his massive combo lead in exchange for 480k individual score. United States will take an early advantage.
And there's our first breakpoint of the match here.
Yeah, unfortunately, Canada just not able to replicate the scores they got yesterday. Yip down from 620k to 375k is a drop of nearly 250,000 scores. Zucchini down 110,000 score. And while, yes, you do sub in Cut Paper for an extra 130k on top of what you had yesterday with Dark Karate, it's just not nearly enough. 400k for 2 members on the United States with Pez and RNG, and 300k on 2 others is just too much to deal with for this Canadian roster, and they are not going to be able to convert that pick. First breakpoint, 3-1 up now for the United States after Canada's second pick. And honestly, losing a pick like that this early on is really bad for this Canadian roster. Yeah, there's a lot of other gimmicky maps in the pool. You have the No Mod 4, you have the Hidden 3, you have access to some of the free mods and Hard Rock picks as well. Stuff like the Hard Rock 2 and Hard Rock 1 I think can be very good for this roster, but to lose something like that you are supposed to win this early on in a matchup between 2 teams that are supposed to have very little overlap in terms of what they like to pick, what is good for them in a pool, is very, very difficult to overcome later on as the pool starts to get smaller and smaller as more and more maps are picked. And Canada now has to take a break point on something they're not quite as comfortable with, which historically has proven very difficult for this country versus the United States in the 4-digit World Cup. We'll see if they can turn it around at some point, but maybe they can do so on something like this No Mod 1. 220 BPM, raw aim focus here, CS 3.9, AR 9.9, and almost 8 stars, 7.9 stars on the aim consistency. So we'll see whether a pick that is generally in tournaments considered a little RNG can be better for this Canadian roster.
Yeah, and we are seeing, like, Canada hasn't played a Nomad 1 since quarterfinals, and in that quarterfinals, it was United States 1, Canada 2 for the match. So, Canada, we haven't seen what they can do on these higher star rating aim picks, other than Hard Rock 1s, which they have consistently kind of on paper underperformed on. So it's gonna be a different style of matcher. We're gonna have to see if they can pull.
See if they can pull through. Birchman, Zucchini, Dark Karate, Jamara in for Canada. Again, the aim mechanics roster for this squad coming in here. Pez, RNG, Opixe, and Twilight for the United States. Another very good set of aim players, particularly looking at Pez and RNG for this, but Opixe as well. I think a really good shout. Twilight, more of the all-rounder on this roster. Let's see how it goes. Third pick for the United States in Grand Finals.
Indeed, and we are going to see this a beautiful number 1. Big distances all around. And starting off with 2 big misses for Canada. 3 even. Oh, that's painful already. 4v1 situation, Hubba.
Yeah, it's a big one to readjust from. And some more breaks coming in for Zucchini, having a bit of a hard time getting a combo going. But some trades there for RNG and Twilight. It's Birchman Karate. Pixie's down. Big combos only on Karate now.
Indeed, there is absolutely a chance now, but Zucchini and Birchman needs to hold, except if Best misses. The Karate though finding his own mistake, and only RNG and Twilight remain.
Yeah, having a hard time consolidating here, and as you see, this map is relentless. These jumps are just not stopping. You have a couple big sliders in between, but you have to be so consistent, so snappy with your aim with these overlaps, and the United States with a 70k lead showing they're just a little bit more.
Absolutely 70k difference, and in a map like this, every single inch of lead counts, and Dark Karate losing his grounds. Lead now increases to 90k as Pez, RNG, Twilight, and Opixe holds. Birchman, Zucchini, and Boom Mega Win is still holding their own though, and there is still a chance as we find the trades, but it's a 2v1.
Oh yeah, those big explosions coming on the wrong players, and that break from Zucchini gonna be cutting it out there. No combos on any players once again, but that only benefits the United States with this early lead. It's now doubled to a 150.
Yeah, absolutely, it takes an absolute incredible amount of aim to consistently combo this. Definitely not your Winnie Hut Jr. number 1, but right now United States. Then the salty speed tunes are whatever. 300 combo down for Opixe and RNG. But it's once again the 2v1 and the lead gonna reach 200k, Hubba.
Yeah, the only combo on the board for Canada being that Birchman, and down he goes. We do have only a quarter map remaining, 230k and climbing for the United States side. I think this one might just be done deal again. United States showing how consistent they are. When they pick these maps, they are never behind.
Absolutely, the 1-2s, the diamond patterns, all of them being thrown in front of these poor players. But they are enduring it very well. And United States having the more solid team score, lowest being 350k. And that is very much a statement when that's above Canada's best player. United States will consolidate their breakpoint against Canada. It's going to be a 4-2-1 scoreboard, boys.
Yeah, unfortunately not the pick where Canada could find that breakpoint back. If you're rooting for a close match or if you're rooting for bracket reset, this was not what you wanted to see. But if you're rooting for the United States, a very welcome win here. 378k, the lowest score on the team from Opixe, still better than the best score on Canada from Jamara. Boom, mega win with that 350k. They do eventually get all 4 members above that 300k mark for Canada, but the overall team consistency just better for the United States. No standout score on the roster. Everybody between 350 and 410k for them, but that is more than good enough, as everybody between 300 and 350k for Canada. Very, very similar but reversed positions as to what we saw on the Nomad 6. And now Canada, after that No Mod 3 went awry, gonna have to find something good for this roster. Maybe you pick into that last hidden, maybe you pick into the Hard Rock 2, or something like the Free Mod 3, which could be very, very good for a roster that really prefers those more gimmicky maps. Event Horizon Beyond Forsace by Yaspo, I think probably one of the better maps left in the pool for Canada here. And you can't really leave a lot of these good maps until the end when you are down a break point and in danger of being down 4 points if the United States wins your next pick. So Canada, I think, will be looking toward whatever map in the pool left is their strongest. Again, the No Mod 4 is still an option as well, but with how low the scores were for Canada on that map yesterday, I doubt they picked that themselves. That might be something that gets thrown out there near the end of the match when there's fewer maps available for either of these teams, because that is an extremely hard map. I think the highest score on that map at all yesterday was something like 250k or so. Really, really difficult map. Yeah, highest score on that map yesterday was 286k, so incredibly difficult one. And instead, we get the Hard Rock 2 here, some tech alt hybrid MYUKKE mapping in the precision slots. Yes, 7.8 for this map. Very likely to see NIWASHI come in for Canada alongside a lot of the usual suspects for the gimmick roster.
Yeah, Canada's roster yesterday was Jamara, Yip, Karate, NIWASHI. Waiting to see what the United States roster is. Historically, Pez has done super well on these maps. He got 600k on the CS7 one last week. And there they are, Pez, RNG, Recoil, Toki. RNG really putting in work this match, matching Pez on a lot of these aim maps.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a couple of really solid players for the United States to do a lot of the work here. Not a ton of sort of standout scores that we've seen. I mean, we have seen, of course, really solid score on the No Mod 5 from Pez. But a lot of the roster has just been really solid overall for the United States, and these really are the usual suspects. Toki, though, not a typical sight on the United States roster. I think very similar to NIWASHI, kind of a specialist player for this United States team, usually in on the speed maps, but in here for the precision hard rock pick as well for this team. Of course, Dark Karate, Boom Mega Win, Yip, and very likely NIWASHI. I'd be super surprised to not see him play CS8 Hard Rock here for Canada. Going to be the fourth player to jump in there. I think this roster makes a lot of sense. Dark Karate, a very good Hard Rock player. Same for Jimmy. Yip, a very good gimmick player and probably the best all-rounder on this roster. And now we get into it. Canada here needing this point pretty desperately. You lose here, you go down 5-1. The United States has next pick, and with how this match has been going, you can probably expect that to be 6-1 pretty quickly. So Canada desperately needing this point. Let's see if they can convert on their own third pick in this grand finals.
Indeed, the sixth map going to be a Hard Rock 2. They say good things come in small packages. This is not it. 50k in the lead though for Canada. This might be an early Christmas present.
Yeah, getting some early combo on them. Dark Karate still holding on to the FC early on. Meanwhile, constant breaks from the United States side. Maybe a little bit harder to be consistent on a CS this low. Karate gonna be breaking, but not before giving Canada 100k lead.
Indeed, but will it stay that way? Pez and RNG, the two hungry shark. The Beauty and the Beast, ready to do some dirty work. 200 combo on the board, but there's Yip and Jimara on the board trying to contest, but with those misses, now down to 80, down to 75, 60k. Is the glass half empty? Is the glass half full? They do not care. Pez and RNG ready to take a sip of the victory drink, but RNG finds the miss. It's only Pez, and he finds the miss as well. 10k difference.
Yeah, down they go right before being able to scrape it back to their side, and that big triple break gonna be big for Canada here, which Yip and Jamar were holding on a 100 combo, and that's a lot for this map. That's enough for them to come back for a 70k lead here. in the final third of map remaining, and no combos on the United States side to claw that back.
Absolutely, 50k difference. It's not over just yet. They still need to be very careful as the lead goes down to 50k. Even with United States collapsing, only a fraction of the map remaining. But they still need to be very careful. 40k difference right now. They're hurting Jibara finding the miss. 30k difference. Down to 30k, down to 30k. Can Canada hold on? Yeben and Namo still holding on as well. Toki and RNG try to fight back though. 50k. It's going to increase. Canada will take this breakpoint and going to have the chance to equalize this match.
I will correct one thing there. Not a break point, but they take a much needed point. Canada winning their own third pick there. It's good for the hype though. It's good for the narrative. I love the story. But this is regardless of whether it's a break point or not, this is a crucial pick for Canada to win. Again, if they lose this, regardless of whether it's a break point or not, if it's a break point, you're down 5-1 and very, very poorly set up for the rest of the match. If you lose this on your own pick, well, then United States has next pick being up 5-1. And again, we kind of expect this next pick to go the way of the United States. They have looked really, really solid, pretty much unassailable on all of their own picks. Even on Nomad 1, where the score difference wasn't that big, they had a lot of team consistency ahead of Canada, similar to what we saw in the Nomad 6, but with the positions reversed. So you really just expect United States to win this next pick, and it's going to be Fremod 1, another one of these aim consistency picks. I think a really solid strategy for United States. It's been working with the DT1 and the Nomad 1. Keep it up here. Just keep picking into these mechanics maps, because Canada doesn't really seem to have a good answer on these basic mechanics picks, including the aim mechanics. So United States looking to put a 5th point on the board with this one. Subconsciousness, mapped by Snownote. AR 8.8, 7.4 stars, Nomad, and 102 BPM. Call that 204 BPM because that's what it plays like when you're playing the jumps in this map. And not a lot of players are going to be super comfortable on 204 BPM AR 8.8, whether that's Nomad or Hidden. So you maybe expect to see a little bit of a hard rock overmod from these teams, especially with it being OD 9.5. It's a relatively high overall difficulty already on this map, so not easy to hack, even if you're going Nomad.
Yeah, and you're already seeing a bit of a different strategy here. Canada, overall, being a very strong free mod team, a lot of mod specialists, cut paper hidden, dark karate hidden, hard rock, which is great for when you have to get 3 mods on your team. This one might be a bit closer of an aim map than others, but the United States still very strong on the selection.
One thing that is helpful for Canada, of course, a lot of very solid reading players on this roster. You can see there actually 3 of them that are generally pretty solid on it. Zucchini, well, at least 2 of them, Zucchini and Cut Paper. Birchman Dark Karate, I think, more likely to take the hard rock on this map. Maybe we'll see a triple hard rock and just 1 hidden for Canada. And I think you can expect pretty much the same here for the United States with Pez, RNG, and Twilight in for this map. Maybe you see Twilight go the Nomad. Gaby almost certainly here to take Hidden for the USA. Let's see how this measures up. Again, the United States with the advantage on every mechanics pick so far, as well as a win on the Nomad 3 for that alt pick from Canada. Hard Rock, of course, for Pez, Hidden for Twilight. Looks like Nomad for RNG there, actually. So maybe a little bit more comfortable there. And actually double Hidden for the United States with Twilight and Gaby both going Hidden. Double Hidden for Canada as well. Zucchini and Cut Paper taking the Hidden there. A bit of a surprise here as both teams going 2 Hidden on this map. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I do think...
Oh,
yeah, I do think that's a bit of a bigger surprise for the United States side. You know, Twilight and Gaby are fine hidden players, but Canada, Zucchini and Cut Paper, those are hidden specialists right there. Dark Karate is going to be finding the first break on the hard rock only, but not going to be too big of a deal in the early going. This is a bit of a shorter map, 2 minutes, 18 seconds. Gonna see if they can bring that back.
Yeah, absolutely, but bit of a surprise. I thought this was going to be a Hard Rock favorite map, but doesn't seem so. But RNG finding the first miss as the Nomad player. Dark already did miss in the beginning, and Cut Paper just now. 60k difference for this current moment. It's a 3v2 situation as Cut Paper kind of struggling to build up his combo. And now the triangle's coming in.
Yeah, that big double tap section gonna be taking out a lot of players. Gaby, Twilight, Tez are down. Only big combos, Birchman and RNG. Birchman with the bigger one though might be enough to claw this back as more breaks come in for the United States side. Only combo being consistently held is Birch. 500 and climbing, gonna be slowly slinking back to the Canadian side.
And that's the slow section. His cursor went all over the world. Called that Ferdinand Magellan. 550 combo on the board. 600k. This man played in 5WC and ready to go to the big stage in this 4WC. But he's still alone. He needs the support. It's a 1v4. Birchman against the world. And it's broke.
No, Tez and RNG holding on to the combo. This won't be the breakpoint they desired. They just don't have the supporting combos on the other players. Strong scores nonetheless, 400k from Zucchini and Karate, but just not enough to combat this huge team score. Almost 500k on every member of the United States.
Man, that's tragic.
And it's a tale we've seen told throughout this match so far. The standout score for Birchman just not quite enough to carry Canada to victory on that pick. It would have been a break point for Canada. It would have been massive for them to get that break point as well. Now down 5-2. But United States with the better team consistency, everybody above that 450k mark, doing just enough to keep themselves ahead on this free mod 1 and just barely winning that pick. But we've seen that sort of story told throughout this match as well. We've had, of course, a couple of standout scores that were enough to win, like on the Nomad 5, but a couple of other places as well where it just wasn't quite enough. And this just adds to the tally of this match where we've seen a lot of good standout scores not be enough, similar to Batball's 480k on Let's Courts. And now Canada with the opportunity to win another one back, probably another one of these gimmick picks to be gone for here, and it is the free mod to Go For It Halcyon by P Model, the anti-mod free mod pick, CS5 AR8, and some Kirby Mix style anti-mod with some very, very tricky stream aim patterns in this map. I think everybody has played Kirby Mix at this point. If you are a tournament player, you've definitely seen this in the free mod pool before. But a lot of the difficulty on this map doesn't necessarily come from reading difficulty and stacks like what we saw on the Nomad 6, or because of the rhythms, for example, but because of the flow aim, the aim control on this map. That makes Hard Rock a lot more difficult. That makes Hidden a lot more difficult. So regardless of what your third modded player takes, it's going to be a really tricky sort of map. I think both of these teams have rosters that are well suited to this. A lot of the gimmick players on both of these teams are very, very good at this style of rather wacky flow aim. So I don't think this is super favored toward either team. Definitely on paper, this is a pick for Canada, but how good of a pick is it?
Yeah, and on a map like this, Pez opting not to play it. Gonna be interesting to see the United States fourth player here. We of course have the usual suspects on Canada, Yip, Zucchini, Dark Karate. Can only imagine Cut Paper in the fourth. Gonna be having to see who our fourth for the United States is though.
Waiting probably for Batball on the United States to come in as the fourth player here. I don't really expect to see too many other players. Maybe Twilight as a fourth player, but definitely one of those two probably to come in as the last player. Canada with a couple of options as well. You could have Nanawo take the Hard Rock on this. You could have Cut Paper come in. You could have Birchman come in as well. He's off the back of a very, very solid play on that free mod 1. So I think a lot of options for both of these teams. You see Batball and Cut Paper come in to pull in the last roster slot for both of these teams. RNG, Batball, Toki, and Gaby, likely with Batball and Gaby taking the hidden RNG on the Nomad and Toki on the Hard Rock. Yip, Zucchini, Dark Karate, and Cut Paper, likely with Dark Karate on that Hard Rock. Yip, Zucchini, Cut Paper, I think any of them could take the hidden or go no mod. We'll see exactly what the mod loadout is once we get into it. Pick number 4 for Canada. If they lose this one, they go down 6-2, and the United States has next pick to close out grand finals. So potentially the most important pick of the match for Canada here on their own side. If they win this, they at least guarantee another couple of picks for themselves before the end of the match. And that is an easy for Batball on this one. Let's get into this map.
Absolutely, but starting off with a miss though, not the best way to start the show. But it is a start nonetheless, going to pick his guitar right back up and ready to rock and roll. But for now, Canada holding the 4 full combo, but Zucchini not feeling too well with his accuracy. Maybe they'll find the miss of his own with the hidden modification, hubba.
Yeah, the early lower accuracies gave United States a bit of a lead, but that break from Gaby immediately sliding back over to Canada. A little bit more of a comfort here on the Canadian side. Anti-mod being their bread and butter with these lower AR picks. Cut Paper extremely comfortable on. Yip no mod is interesting. Normally he's a hard rock player for that team, but Karate Zucchini going down to even it out 2-3.
The flow for the hidden players, can they hold on? Orange is still doing it very nicely. It's a 2v2 situation as Gaby supports and Yip is down. It's a 3v1 and Canada is on the ropes.
Yeah, but when you're on the ropes, Cut Paper is a good support. No, he goes down actually, and that's gonna immediately side back over. Batball and RNG still holding on to 600 combo almost to themselves.
Absolutely, Batball has studied for the test, and he forgot the equation. RNG though, he's there to support, ready with his cheat sheet, telling Batball the answer. 700 combo, he's hitting it! He hits it!
Yeah, those space triples are the filthiest part of the map. I have no idea what just hit that. And Canada have no combos to combat that huge carry from RNG here. Still holding on to the FC2. It's 3/4 in. And can he close it out? All eyes on him to see if he can FC this map. No, down he goes. One miss.
Yeah. But hold the front door, there is plenty of chances for Canada. It's a team diff! 100k difference right now. And Cut Paper needs to hold. Here's the last hope for Canada. The Maple Leaf. Will it falter or will it stand tall? Is it strong enough? Is it the one? Is it the chosen one? Cut Paper! Ready to cut one more time!
Oh my god!
500! No, 600 combo! Stand tall! You are strong! Cut Paper!
Oh my god. What a comeback for the Canadian side. It was almost done and dusted, but after that first break from RNG, he could not consolidate another recovery, and Cut Paper could, closing it out and bringing it back for their team. It won't be over yet.
Top score of the lobby for Cut Paper, I might add, 558k, actually outscoring RNG off of a 1.5% AC lead. Down combo, but it doesn't matter. The mod difference and the AC difference playing out in Canada's favor there, as the rest of the roster just more consistent. And once again, it's that team consistency that matters so much. We've talked about it on a lot of the rest of these maps, but just another case, 2 players for the United States down below that 300k mark, and you just can't have that in this kind of a lobby where everyone is so closely matched. And now it is up to the United States to fire back. 5-3, they are still up a break point. They are still safe here in this match. All they need to do is win their own picks, and they are guaranteed the win in the tournament without tiebreaker. So the onus really is on Canada to put up some ridiculous performances. They absolutely needed that play by Cut Paper. If he did not pull off that massive score for them, they were going to lose that and be down 6-2 in this match, which would have probably been a death blow, right? You have to win 5 in a row at that point just to get to bracket reset. So massive performance there for Cut Paper. And now let's see where the United States chooses to go. There's only one aim consistency map left in this pool. That is Trance Dance Anarchy in the Hard Rock pool. And that is some CS 6.5. awkward aim as well. There is still Nomad 2 left available. There is still Hard Rock 3 left available. Libera by Neobliviscaris as a Hard Rock stream map is really tough. And so the United States, despite the Hard Rock 1 being the only aim mechanics map left in the pool, does still have a couple of options left here in the map pool overall. Same goes for Canada, but again, the United States, all they need to do is win their own picks. And they're going to go with DT4, actually. Instead of the Hard Rock or No-Mod mechanics, they're going to go for DT Flow Consistency, AR 10.2, 210 BPM with this pick. Some really tricky flow aim in this map, and the high AR reading definitely does not help. So another one of these relatively difficult mechanics picks for the United States. Canada, again, they're going to need a breakpoint at some point in this match to bring themselves to that bracket reset. We'll see if they can do it here on a DT pick. Of course, they did ban out the DT2, the DT3. They did lose the Nomad 5 and the DT1, but this is the lowest BPM out of all of those higher BPM mechanics picks. 210 BPM is significantly lower when it's more focused on flow aim and consistency than it is on that raw speed mechanics side, like in the DT2 or DT3. So Canada, I think, a much better chance at a breakpoint on this sort of map than on any of the other speed maps we've seen so far. That said, the United States, of course, picking this for a reason, right? You've still got 2 other stream mechanics maps available. You've still got another aim mechanics map available. You've won every other aim map in the pool so far. There has to be a reason that you're going for this pick now, as opposed to one of those others when you only have 2 picks left for the United States. So definitely comfortable on this map as compared to some of the other mechanics picks in the pool. And you're going to expect a lot of the usual suspects in for the United States on some of these speedier mechanics picks. Same for Canada, of course, but definitely favoring the United States on this pick, and the onus again on Canada to pop off and get some really good scores to bring themselves back to parity in this match.
Yeah, and we've seen how strong the United States is on DT as a whole when they were paired against China. China being the stronger speed team on paper. They went, okay, we'll ban your higher BPM picks and we'll go for this DT3 more flow aimy pick. This map gonna be in a similar boat. It's up to them to see if they can pull through again, higher BPM flow aim. And we are going to be seeing Tannen for this one, which is good to see. We haven't seen him yet. Big entry.
Yeah, I'll double check that. I think we saw Tan at some point in this match. Yeah, we have seen Tan before on the Nomad 5, of course, United States winning that one. So Tan, unfortunately, not given a chance to shine so far in this match. Going to be joined by Jamara, Nanawo, and Birchman for Canada. Pez, Toki, Twilight, and Batball here to potentially secure match point for the United States.
Absolutely, but Canada not going to let it happen that easily. It's time for double time for 210 BPM. Some stamina is definitely needed. Into the opening section now, the finger control already kicking in with some aim as well. Now and Twilight raiding it out. It's a 3v3 situation as United States takes the lead by 70k, but Batball finds the miss with no one to trade. It's a 2v3 right now, Hubba.
And there it becomes a 1v1. Birch and Pez has been the story of a lot of these speed picks, and they are the only two holding on now. Just a bit of a lead for the United States off of the back of the accuracy.
Yeah, just the two mascot, the two ambassador for both nation. Once again, going to head. Birchman definitely less comfortable than Pez, but he got the combo. Can he become the hero once more? Canada still needs the support, and Birchman is down.
Yeah, and then now it's about these recoveries here. Tan has a little bit, Toki has a little bit more, and that break from Tan is not going to be good on the Canadian side. The United States consolidating their 70k lead.
Absolutely, Toki locking in with 530 combo, the biggest in the lobby, doubling that of the second place. Boomega win and Nanawo with the miss, and now Canada is in shambles as United States recuperates like nothing ever happened. Toki finds the miss though, Batball as well, but so does the two player in the side of Canada. It's a 2 big combo against 1, and it's just not looking good, Hubba.
Yeah, and we're seeing this big carry players again. Twilight and Pez holding a combined 1.1k combo, which is just too big for Canada to overcome at this current moment. They need an explosion to get a chance to come back. There's the break from Tan, and that's the big one. Oh, and there's
That's
a
the
big
boom!
board break. So big boom. Nanawo Birchman. Birchman down. Only big combo is Nanawo now. 160k to come back from.
This might be too tall of a task for one person, but who am I to say? Nanawo, ready to perform some miracle. 600 combo on the board. Still hitting the doubles that pattern as well. Still climbing. 149k. One bit by one bit, chipping the wall with a spoon. Can he do it? Hits that one stream. Feeling the nerves. Man is aiming with the spaghetti. But he is still going on strong. Boom, mega win with the support. And they're down.
Oh, down it goes.
Oh man. Birchman is the only one remaining, and there's just not enough time, especially with that miss. But once again, United States, 0 breakpoints just yet. Oh no. And into the ending section we go. Canada will have only one chance to find a breakpoint in United States pick. But until then, they need to think of a pick of their own to secure before they even have the chance to equalize this match. United States on match point and on tournament point.
Tournament point means one win away from winning the entire thing for the United States. If they can just get either their own next pick or either of Canada's next 2 picks, or if Canada managed to force the tiebreaker, United States can still win there. They just need 1 map out of the next 4. And they will be the champions of 4-Digit World Cup 2024. 2 years in a row against Canada in grand finals as well. So Canada really looking to at least force this bracket reset, not go out without a fight here in grand finals. Last year, they were able to get to tiebreaker, but they were not able to get to that bracket reset. They really want to get there this year, but it's not looking like an easy path. They need to win their own next 2 picks, get a breakpoint on United States pick, and win the tiebreaker in order to get to that bracket reset. They are finally going to dip into that free mod 3. I talked about it earlier. Event Horizon by Hagane, Beyond Course Ace difficulty, mapped by Yaspo. This is the map that started the sort of polyrhythm craze in late 2020, 2021, and early 2022. This is kind of the map that started it all. This was the inspiration for Sputnik. This is the beginning of those polyrhythm maps, and it still holds up. AR 9.3, I believe it was originally AR 9 in Course Ace when it was played there. And this was, I think, a no-mod pick in Course Ace Grand Finals in 2020. This is a really, really tricky map. Of course, tournament players have gotten a lot better, but to see this in free mod in 4-Digit World Cup Grand Finals as opposed to an open rank tournament definitely shows you just how far a lot of tournament players have come. With that said, this is still a really, really tricky map. A lot of reading difficulty in this map as compared to sort of the speed 1618 spam that you tend to associate with a lot of polyrhythm maps. This map still has some of that, but not nearly to the extent that a lot of others do. And instead, a lot of the difficulty is baked into the reading and the aim control in this pick. So your Hard Rock players are going to have a really tough time on CS 5.85 with Hard Rock. Your hidden players are going to have a really tough time on that AR 9.3. And so a lot of players, I think, are going to really struggle to put up high scores on this map. This is one of the picks where maybe the team consistency won't matter quite as much, where maybe if we see a big standout score for either roster, that can be the deciding factor.
Yeah, and the potential of that is definitely increased by this length. It is a bit of a shorter map, only 2 minutes. It is carryable for these standout players. You do have Yip in the lobby, you do have Pez in the lobby, the notable carry players on the deciding teams, and we're gonna have a look at these mods here. I believe I saw Pez Hard Rock. Yeah, Pez, Gaby, Twilight for the mods. Batball going no mod. Boom, Mega Winjamara going hidden Hard Rock. Cut Paper hidden, Zucchini hidden.
Indeed. Indeed, and as the song suggests, Event Horizon. Definitely a point of no return if Canada messes up just this one time. Batball with the first miss, pass with the second. Canada starting off very nicely, but there's the trade from Jimara. It's a 2v2. As Yip with the supporting combo coming in. Caught by Zucchini with the hidden modification. It's the battle of the hidden players right now. And Yip just sitting there, chilling with the Nomad.
Yeah, and the spacing in this map, as well as the polyrhythms, are the trick here. You do see a lot of these overlaps going to be striking out some of our modded players, and Yip also goes down. Only combo is going to be Zucchini for Canada, and he's down. Batball the only one holding now, and it's going to be... Oh, this goalie doesn't go anywhere. Every time I say a name, they break.
Absolutely, this map has dangers lurking in every corner. You might mistake it to be a jungle, but 50k in the lead, and Canada definitely the king of the wilderness. Taming every single parent there is, and Yip is there to contest against KB in Twilight. And KB is down, it's a 2v1, and Yip is there to secure Canada, but there's the miss into the slower part. Battle and Twilight definitely looking for a crack to abuse in this situation, and they are doing very well. 30k, 20k, going to swing to the side of the United States in this lower section.
Yeah, and down they go, getting the supporting combo right before the slow section. Only a little bit of map remaining, and they have the density for it. All big recoveries for the rest of Canada, but that break from Batball gonna be slowing things down a little bit. It's up on Twilight to hold now, but it is 60k and climbing, just a sliver left, and I believe this is the end of Canada's journey.
Door. Hold the front door! Hold it! Yep! Cut paper! Can they do it? 20k! Is this the end?
Oh, it is.
Oh, and it is. Good game and well played.
Two years in a row for the United States. They've found victory versus Canada. Before that, the 4-Digit World Cup took a year break in 2021, and in 2020, it was once again the United States actually in second place versus Hong Kong. Top two the last 3 years in a row. And in 2019, they were number one as well. This is a team that historically is incredibly strong in the 4-Digit World Cup, and once again has achieved victory for the, I believe, third time overall. Their third victory since 2019, and the first ever back-to-back win for any team in the 4-Digit World Cup. Here for the United States, 7-3 in grand finals against Canada, who now 2 years in a row have fallen just short and won second place in the 4-Digit World Cup. Congratulations to them, and to China as well in third place, but most of all, congratulations to the United States for the win and for the first ever back-to-back victory in the 4-Digit World Cup.
Yeah, the two-peat for them. The United States showing dominance in so many World Cups this year and beyond. And to the tiebreaker we go. Canada being good sports, we're going to be seeing a little bit of a show here.
Woohoo! Woohoo indeed. I'm always happy to see a tiebreaker. This is Aria for Lepus by Usaki, and I want to just double check and make sure that this is... I don't know if this is a custom song or anything. I know this is a custom map. But I don't know if this is a custom song or not, if anyone has information on that in chat. Unfortunately, I was not there for the Map Pool Showcase this week, so I don't have info on that. But as you can tell, a very, very difficult tiebreaker. 7.82 stars, 222 BPM, and a really just very difficult tech mechanics hybrid sort of map. Toybot Regal and Halia collab for this map, so a lot of mappers who are really, really solid at that kind of tech mechanics hybrid at that higher BPM. And while we have you all here, just waiting for the match to finalize with the tiebreaker showcase here. I want to give a quick shout out to the sponsors of 4-Digit World Cup. 4-Digit World Cup this year is sponsored by Wooting and Blue Bunny. Blue Bunny is a tablet cover maker. A lot of you may have heard of Foxbox previously. Blue Bunny does a very similar service to them, making high-quality, customizable tablet covers for anyone who uses a drawing tablet. So go ahead and check them out. We have a code for 10% off with the 4-Digit World Cup, as well as, of course, Wooting, the keyboard company. I'm sure most of you here already know Wooting, but if you don't, go ahead and check them out. And you can use the 4-Digit World Cup link to Wooting as well to support the tournament.
Boom.
And in we go. We have our rosters, we have our sponsorships, and in we go for the final map of the tournament. And Pez is going hard rock.
Why not?
Oh,
Jamara
my
is also
God.
going hard rock. It's the hard rock 1v1.
Oh
Why
my
not?
God.
Hidden 1v1 as well between Gaby and Zucchini. And Cut Paper actually also taking it in for fun.
Canada is playing Fremont.
Canada is playing Fremont. Wait, they have 3 mods on their team. They're playing Fremont on the tiebreaker.
Alright, well, okay. Live reaction, guys. I haven't seen the tiebreaker yet.
Neither have I, actually. This will be the first time for me.
Ah, nice then. It's pretty dark DPM though. Probably going to see some nasty stamina in the middle. So no, it's definitely looking kinda normal. Yeah, this classic slider spam opening. We love to see it. And right now only Basketball and RNG holding the full combo, of course, using the normal. Jesus Christ. That was a very nice opening into the cut streams. That was the last one remaining. It's the slider. Intersection, finding a massive over aim there. But right now, RNG is indeed in the lead. It's a 1v1 between Batball and RNG right now. But Canada with Zucchini, 48k, 50k now. Still increasing with that beautiful combo. He's the only one remaining, finding funny miss of his own.
Yeah, and Hubba, everyone is down. Nobody has any combos. So let's take a second and go over the run for United States in this tournament, because they've had a ridiculous run. Just starting off, they 5-0'd both of their first 2 matches, and then 6-3'd both Australia and Poland, before finally 7-1-ing China. So the most points they dropped in a single match in this tournament was 3 points. And only 3 teams managed to do that. They dropped a total of 10 points across all of their matches this tournament. So it's been a really ridiculous run for the United States through this 4-Digit World Cup. Not quite the most dominant tournament performance we've ever seen, but a very, very dominant run for them.
Yeah, nobody was really close to taking a crack at beating them. Despite losing those points, they were never in a down position. They were always comfortable, and throughout, like, every map, you can expect them to perform. You can't expect them to come close. You can expect them to pull through with a top 3 team score for that weekend. And going to show here, another 7-3 performance in this tiebreaker, and excited to see what they pull through with next year.
Okay, not more. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry.
You cursed him. Why would you do that? Sounds so mean.
GG. Sorry. My spell is a bit too effective there.
I'll also take a moment to shout out Canada's run through this tournament, since we're in a slow section of the map here. Not too much combo for anyone, just Zucchini on 200. Canada, again, lost to China, who ended up placing 3rd. They were seed 14, which means Canada faced them in round of 16. So from losers bracket round 2, Canada has been in losers. That means they played the maximum number of matches that any team can play in a round of 32 tournament. And they still made it to grand finals. They played the most matches that anyone can possibly play, and they still made it here. They knocked out of the tournament Philippines, Finland, Taiwan, Australia, South Korea, Poland, and China. They knocked 7 teams out of this tournament in their run through the losers bracket. An absolutely ridiculous run, and to get all the way here and still lose is definitely a sad ending to a ridiculous losers bracket run. But I think it's still a gratifying sort of way to end it for Canada, being able to beat China and then still put up a good showing here in the grand finals.
Oh yeah, absolutely, guys. Damn! I mean, 7 kill death ratio? That's insane, actually.
7-2 KD is unmatched, no? That's
Yeah.
pretty solid.
Oh wait, 7-2, yeah.
And just to close out our podium recap here, we do have China in our 3rd place slot.
Oh, China.
The boogeymen of the winners bracket here. They come through, they seed 14th. They take out Ukraine first, then that big Canada seed 3 takedown. Then 6-1ing Brazil in quarterfinals, the seed 6. Just to go 5 breakpoints in a row in the semifinals against South Korea, 4-6, barely edging out that final victory before getting a little bit skill capped in our finals and grand finals, 7-1 losses to the United States and Canada, the big 2.
That was insane script writing for the boys in China, man. Very good job for them. 3. Alright, oh my god. It's done, boys.
It's done. That's going to be it. That is the 4-Digit World Cup 2023. Once again, congratulations to our top 3, your winners of the 4-Digit World Cup 2023, and the only team to ever win 2 in a row, and the most dominant team through the history of the 4-Digit World Cup, winning, I believe, 3 iterations of the 4-Digit World Cup, the United States, taking this grand final 7-3 versus Canada, dropping a grand total of 10 points through the entire tournament, the least that they have ever dropped in a winning run in this tournament. Canada, your 2nd place team, 2 years in a row at 2nd place at the hands of the United States. Definitely not the ending that they wanted, but still a very solid run through the tournament overall. And an unlikely 3rd place on the podium. China, a team many discounted from the start. As you said, BlankTap, hubba, the boogeyman of the winners bracket, taking out so many higher seeded teams through their winners bracket run before finally hitting a wall in that winners finals, but still securing that top 3. Congratulations to all of those teams and to every team who had a solid run for themselves in the 4-Digit World Cup. That is going to be it for us this year. Thank you to everyone as well who staffed the 4-Digit World Cup. Of course, the host Shadoos, the map poolers, including Chiv, and a few of the other map poolers, Rasoa as well. Of course, all the playtesters who helped out with the map poolers, all the custom mappers who made a lot of very memorable maps. Some of which we didn't get to see in this grand finals, unfortunately, like that No Mod 4, but stuff like Tiebreaker as well. A lot of custom maps throughout the tournament. All the other commentators and streamers who have been carrying the tournament throughout the bracket stage, and of course the refs who make these matches possible. Thank you very much to everyone who was involved with the tournament. Thanks to you all for watching, and we'll see you back here once again for the 4-Digit World Cup in 2025.
Goodbye.